Okay, so I'm Grasswalker. Hello, welcome back to the premiere draft of Amonkhet Remastered. I put a deck together, I'll let you guys have a quick glance at it. At the end of the day, I ended up cutting almost everything of red except for the Jewel Land, a couple of mountains, the Javelineer Minotaur that has -1/-1 synergy, and the Neheb, which has Minotaur synergy, and we have like 7 Minotaurs in this deck, so I felt like I couldn't cut them, like they're just too good, so we'll see whether or not it backfires. Generally speaking, online in Magic Arena, it's safer to cut lands because there's the smoothing algorithm. So I did end up cutting a land. I knocked the volume down like 5 you guys. I'm also back in the top corner now. I go down in that corner, this one down here. Or is it this one? One of these bottom corners. I go down there for the draft, so I'm not covering any of the cards. This hand seems fine. It's got the 2 important colors. It's got a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop, a 5-drop. It's a beautiful curve. Knock that down a little bit. Glorious. Wow, we get the new... look at the new Amonkhet map. It's got a whole bunch of buildings. And then he doesn't have a pet, but I assume his pet would go on this little lip of sandstone. And then my pet gets to go in the temple. I don't know what any of this is, because I didn't play the Amonkhet set. I took a couple of years out from the game, just lost passion for it around when Dragons of Takir or something like that came out. I just wasn't that keen on. The first Theros set really annoyed me. I didn't like it a little bit, but I still played during it, and then my local store shut at the end of Theros, and then that was pretty much it. We're not going to cycle, we're going to play a little boy. A little 1-1. Knock down a little bit, I think. We're in the bronze rank, so hopefully we get some wins. I just haven't played Limited this season. I've just been busy with the house move, so it's just knocked me all the way back to where I started from. Let's go double green. He doesn't have a board, so 3/3 that can't block is good here. Because we're just going to be hitting him. And if the Dissenter does die, we get the zombie that allows this to block, which is nice. Next turn we get the Crocodile, which would murk the Dissenter. I think that's worth doing post-combat. We want to get that 1 point of damage in. But I am more than happy. Oh, fuck, it has haste. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, we definitely should have played that first. We'd have hit for 4 more. I didn't think it had haste. That's a horrific misplay from me. Wow, he's playing... You can't play a 1-mana card that gains you life. That's just not something you can play. We do need the land, so we'll play it. We also could do with a Scorpion. He's taking a lot of damage here. He should be a little lower than he is. Because we traded 1 for 5, so he should be 4 lower than he is. That hurts, but hopefully it's not going to cost us the game. It doesn't look like it's going to cost us the game. Because we're just so far ahead. Like, he's borderline... Yeah, he's conceded. He's just so far behind. He didn't do anything. He missed his land drops. He spent his time cycling and gaining life, but cycling and gaining life doesn't help you win the game. It doesn't give you any board control. It doesn't do anything for you. So, unfortunate gameplay for him. Partial deck building as well. I wouldn't put a card in my deck that just gained life. Maybe add something synergizing with it, but I wouldn't touch something like that with a barge pole. But we are back in bronze, so hopefully we get a good number of wins here. You need to go 3-3 in order to break even, in the sense that it was better to do the draft than it was to buy packs. So if I get 3-3, I'm going to be happy, because I'll then have achieved a rate that's more efficient than buying packs. Anything after that's gravy. I think 6-3, and it pays for itself, and you go infinite, and you can just do another draft immediately and keep everything you got from the first one. I'd say my goal for this draft is 5 wins, considering we're in bronze. Normally I'm happy with 3 to 4. Anything above that's gravy, but This time I think we're aiming for 5, especially considering we're in bronze. People might be playing or drafting a bit worse than they otherwise would. This hand I don't think you can keep because it only has 1 color, 2 lands. It has curve, but it's not as good as this. So with this, we might drop the combat trick. But this has all 3 of our colors, and it has an obelisk spider. Super keen on that. We get to curve beetle into spider, and then we have a couple of 1/4s. Okay, so what do we need? We need double black, single green. So where we need double black, I might put the swamp down now, because that stops me making a misplay in the future, so I don't accidentally put 2 forests down. Feed the mouth. What's he gonna play? A monument. See, I remember drafting and that got rated as like a 0 or a 0.5 or something. We could unburden him, force him to dump like all of his good stuff. Would be quite funny. We also already have a 1/4, so maybe a 3/3 here is better. I think we're going to put the pressure on with a 3/3. Multiple 1/4s isn't going to do much for us. Oh wow, that's big. I mean, it's not big. It looked like a 3/4, but it's actually a 2/3. So, the hippo does technically kill the kudu. Do we risk it? He might have a combat trick. He might well have a combat trick. I don't think we want to respect combat tricks. Although the game did pause, so I think he definitely has a combat trick. But I think forcing him to use it's still fine. Alright, the game just paused for no apparent reason. Now I think I want to drop down a 4/2. When he plays his next card, we're going to have to cast the Unburden for value. But this line of play, playing the Vizier, it uses all 4 of our mana. It doesn't use 3 of the 4. And it gives us the option next turn to cast the Spider for 3 and cycle the Unburden for 2, giving this indestructible. When it attacks, another attack creature gets flying. We're just going to take this because its 4/5 status is temporary from the artifact. And I'm okay just having a temporary thing. Creature power greater than 3. That's a lot of cards. Alright, we're going to attack. And then if he blocks, we'll be forced to cycle the Unburden. If. But I'm happy about that. If I trade cycling a card for his card, I'm okay with that. So he didn't offer us that. I still think it's right here to cast Unburden. It just cleanses his hand of all options. And then he's just no longer a danger to me. Because maybe he has a 6-drop bomb and a couple of lands. This will leave him without that. Maybe he has 3 bombs. This will get rid of 2 of them. He's only got 3 cards in his hand. He only gets to keep 1. Whatever he keeps will be the best for him, but it just decimates his options. It puts him almost immediately into top decking mode. Whereas we have a good board. What did we get? We got a 7-drop and a 2-drop fog. No, fog's not very good, but I'm glad we got rid of the 7-drop, as he's encroaching on 5, 6, 7 lands anyway. But dumping his value, putting him into top deck mode is really good for us right now, because we have feed. We're about to draw 2, maybe 3 cards off of it. We are under a dangerous clock, though. Every time he casts a spell, his little flying board buffs up. Whenever you put 1 or more -1 mana on a creature, each opponent loses a life, get a life. That's cool. We don't have the mana to support it at the minute. So I think we play this big hasted crocodile. We've learnt the June Beetle doesn't matter whether it's a 1/4 or a 0/3. It's about the same shit. Blocks on the floor. However, him doing that, he's dead if he does that. Yeah, this is 9. He's at 9. This puts all the pressure on him. Either win this turn or you lose, is what we're telling him. He has 4 damage, so he needs to find 6 damage in 2 cards, 1 top decked. He needs 6 damage or he's dead. I think we've got this game. There's a very high chance we've got this game. I hope we don't lose this game. Now he has to find 6 damage not in combat. We've almost certainly won. He may have a fog. That would be spicy. He may have a fog, he may have an unsummon. We can't really block anything he has anyway, so we may as well swing with the group. He's saying good game. He already discarded a fog. We'll give him the good game. We'll see what happens. Ah, there's +2/+2. Okay, nice. That's the trick he had. So now we get to... Okay, he didn't block. I don't think it would have mattered because he was so low. So I think he was just showing me the trick. Hey, we leveled up in bronze. That's probably not very much of an achievement to anybody. But we got it. It's free. I'll take it. At the end of the month, the seasonal rewards will look upon me favorably and give me something for that. Just going to keep jumping into the games. I probably should do more Premier Drafts. Maybe not of Amonkhet, because this set's only historic legal. But I should get some drafts in just to get the end of season rewards. I wonder whether or not that's worth it. Because you get some gold, a couple of packs, and a card style. I don't think it's worth it if you don't want the set. But you may as well get yourself to silver or gold in draft, which is easy to do because your wins give you 2 stars, 2 little pips, and your losses only take away 1. So even with like a 30%, 25% win rate, you will rank up. This hand seems fine. We shall begin with a couple of 2-drops and a combat trick. May have a creature get +2/+2. So we're going to want to start with the Dissenter. And then the Kenra will buff the Dissenter as it enters. That will put us 1 damage higher. I think we might end up cycling this land. Play our Kenra, see if it gets countered, or maybe removed. Yeah, I actually called that. 2 mana untapped, he didn't have anything he was doing. So I'm going to have to decide. 35% chance to draw a land. We want 1 red anyway. The deck kind of caps out at 5, 6, 7. We'll punch him, because that doesn't cost me anything. I think we'll play it, but there is definitely... There's logic in holding that land to cycle it, and I think maybe I should have cycled it. Oh wow, he can mill me for 4. Interesting. Whenever it's targeted, sacrifice it. Embalm. Exile a card from your graveyard to create a token. It's a copy of this. It's white, no mana, zombie. Okay. So for 4 mana, he gets himself another 2/3. That's pretty strong. We're not going to suicide the 1/1. There's no point. It might trade with something. We might have use for it. Holding onto a cycling land would have been nice with that Vizier, but we didn't know it was on top. I felt like I couldn't cycle it because we had 5 lands and we have a 5-drop. And there's a good chance you just don't draw any more lands. Wow, that's strong. There's a mountain. So we can exile a creature. Embalm, exile this card. So it's like flashback for creatures, basically. I'm mean, we're gonna swing, and we can use the removal or the buff quite favourably. Wow, he's just gonna let it happen because he's scared of a cycler. So we're gonna hold on to our instant speed stuff. Next time we get to cast the Kenra from the graveyard. That's gonna give something +4/+4, which is really cool. If you control a desert, tap a giant creature, it doesn't untap. Harsh, but there's not much we can do about that. Alright, do we want to exile the Aven Initiate or block and shed weakness to Guardian? I think I want to block and shed weakness to Guardian. It looks like he has a counter spell of sorts for the game to pause there. It's kind of a shame because we traded a 1-mana card for like half of the Guardian. Oh, we definitely should have kept that land to cycle. I wonder what he has, because that's not a spell. Because we're just creating a token copy. We're not casting a spell. He's tapping lands. Maybe he's got like an unsummon for the Dissenter. I mean, he's tapped those lands now. I'm gonna go into... yeah, I mean... I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was holding up a counter spell, but he didn't realize that this 4/4 isn't a spell, it's just like an effect from the graveyard. No matter what he casts here, we're probably gonna exile it if it's big enough to worry about. He just embalmed a shitty Guardian. So this, in that circumstance, I think we would exile the Initiate. Wow, another Guardian. So here we want to open the door to a 2-for-1. We want to offer him... oh yeah, let's pretend that you can double block this. We're not going to oops, because he's put the blockers down. He's thinking about it though. Okay, so if I target it, it sacrifices itself. I mean, it doesn't matter which I target basically, but we'll target the Guardian, make it sack itself, and then this bumps that, and we got like a 1.5-for-1. Because we killed this half of the Guardian, the other half of that Guardian for 1. So like a 1.25-for-1. I would have liked to exile the Initiate though. So that's beating me down. I hope he doesn't have a big bomb. It's a little bit unfortunate because we flooded really badly. We have 8 lands in our hand. So the deck runs 16 lands, and we've found 8 of them in the first 14 cards. Pretty harsh. This is going to get Essence scattered. Like, the game paused early and oh wow, it's not. I find that very strange. Block, maybe a trick? Probably not with double blue. No, just free value. I'll hold on to the forest to make him think I've got something. Cycled. Ah. So that was the counterspell I was holding on to. He sees that I'm flooded, that'll never get used. Sense is completely useless. More cycling. He's digging for answers. It's a good sign. feels good for me when my opponent is like desperately digging for something. There's a big one. Shit. Oh, that's so good, but like also not. So we get to make 4/4 copies of cards in the graveyard. So, I mean, it's almost good to suicide things, especially if it gets haste. I think it's almost good to suicide things here. So he might, in this circumstance, 3/2 on the 4/4, 4/4 on the 3/3, take 1. Beginning of combat. I don't know if it's worth suiciding it all. I think just this. He's taking that trade. I'm very happy to see that, 'cause him getting infinite scries, having a 4/4 flyer, very dangerous. This is nice, we get that 2/2. May as well play the forest. And now we get a 4/4 hasted dissenter that when it dies gives us a 2/2 zombie as well. And now we're in this really nice situation where he's already struggled to find an answer a little bit, and now he has to find another answer. I don't think blue-black interacts with artifacts. Okay, he's getting himself the mysteries back. Getting himself the curator back. That doesn't achieve much. Not particularly. I'm scared though, because he has 7 damage and flying, we only have 11 health. Hopefully we top deck something good, because we've already flooded with lands. There's a 30% chance we draw lands. A lot of things in the deck is okay here. I mean, Sunset Pyramid not so much. I mean, it's okay. Because we can draw off of that. So it's like a free card. Wow, that's so good. That's actually so good. Because this card's not doing shit anyway. Now we have a huge board of swingers. Not in that sense, adults who just smirked. I don't think he's dead here, but I think the game tempo has swung so far against him, he's probably lost here. Because there's 9 damage here, he kind of needs to block. He's taking that trade, but that doesn't matter too much, because the crocodile just comes right back. He's all the way down to 2 life. He's got 2 cards in hand, I've got a board full of creatures he needs to answer. I've got artifacts that's bringing a 4/4 haste back. I think this is over. Yeah, fair play. He top decked his card, he's like, this doesn't do it, I'm still dead. Pushing further up the bronze, we've pretty easily, I would say, like each of those wins was relatively easy to get. Like there was room for error. I even screwed up like casting a crocodile for 4 damage like in one of the earlier games. There's been a lot of leeway down here in bronze for me, but we've got 3 wins, so hopefully getting 5 won't be too much of a trouble. It's only going to get harder from here on out because it starts matching me when I'm 3-0 against other people that are 3-0, whether they're bronze, silver, gold. It's probably not going to care that much about that. More the record it matches to. But we paid a certain entry fee and we've got the value of it back, so even if we absolutely dumpster fire out from here, that's going to be okay. But thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode. Let's see if we get some more wins. Bye.